So you've had a second to kind of collect yourself. Tell it to me again. You guys were playing last night, drinking a bottle of wine.
Putting puzzles together, doing artwork.
Doing puzzles, artwork. Okay.
Had a bottle of wine and then decided to play hide and seek. So
What time was that? Do you remember?
I mean, I know that I was in bed probably by like, what, 12:30?
Okay.
Well, I went upstairs at least, and I fell asleep.
Okay.
Forgetting that he was in the
So
suitcase.
you guys were playing the hide and go seek?
Yes.
And at some point you put him in the suitcase?
No, he got in the suitcase. So he thought it would be funny to be put in the suitcase. So I was like, okay, well, I'm going to joke with you and I'll zip you up and make him, squirm a little bit, whatever it is. But then I fell asleep. I fell asleep.
Where was the suitcase?
Right where it is.
Right down there?
Yes.
You zipped him in there?
Yes.
Thought he would be funny, a little joke.
It was. We both were laughing about it.
Okay.
And then I fell asleep.
8 is enough. The woman accused of killing her boyfriend by zipping him up in a suitcase will have to represent herself at trial. We first told you about this story last night at 10.
Sarah Boone has been through 8 lawyers in 4 years.
Oh my God!
I have told her from day one that her snotty attitude was inappropriate, and I try very hard to bear with her and her attitude.
You are listening to the Roberta Glass True Crime Report, putting the true back in true crime. From New York City, Roberta Glass is now on the record.
Okay, how is everybody? Today I'm going to talk about Sarah Boone and her new hearing. She is, of course, accused of zipping up her boyfriend, Jorge Torres, who was 42 at the time, in Orange County, Florida, into a suitcase and letting him suffocate. There are videos of Boone taunting Torres, who is trapped in the suitcase as he's begging to be let out. Her trial is set to begin on October 7th, 2024. But what I want to talk about today is that she had a hearing. Now she is on her 8th. She was on her 8th lawyer before the court had had enough. She was so difficult that they said, okay, you're on your own, no more. And this hearing was particularly interesting to me because the court has to jump through hoops to get her all this material, discovery material for her digitized, because she can't have piles and piles and piles of paper. Have you ever seen an attorney drag their suitcases into court? So without further ado, let's get into today's hearing. She did not disappoint. She is the defendant from hell. So difficult. And her representing herself, it certainly will be an interesting trial. Thanks, Society Page, for becoming a member. Appreciate it. So I'm going to start a little bit into it. So what she has here is an investigator that's paid for by the state that is facilitating her getting all this discovery. So what was about 3 minutes, I'm just going to come in on the tail end of them saying, put this on these kind of thumb drives, et cetera, and make sure you get it to the defendant, et cetera. So it's particularly uninteresting in the first 3.5 minutes. We're going to skip past it.
You will appear
for a hearing with the court on August 1st, 2024 at 8:45 in courtroom 12A of the Orange County Courthouse with the discovery and all USB jump drives containing the discovery. A representative from the Orange County Jail shall also appear for that hearing as well. At that point in time, Prison Break Investigation shall hand deliver all USB jump drives containing the discovery to the representative from the Orange County Jail in order to be placed onto the laptop.
So that's who this gentleman is. He's from Prison Break Investigations.
That is currently secured and to be issued to the defendant for all trial and court preparation. Do you have any questions for me, sir?
I have a conflict for August 1st, Your Honor. I'm
Okay.
supposed to be out of state from Tuesday until Fridays next week, which I believe is the conference August 1st for my son's wedding.
Okay, well, congratulations. When do you return from your son's wedding, sir?
I will be back late Friday evening, so I'll be available the following week.
Okay, will you be able to complete that task by that time?
Yes, sir, I'll do my best.
Okay, sir, we will see you on give me a second, I want to make sure I get the date right. Monday, August 5 at 8:45. Okay, you'll be given a copy of the order that I just read from. Ms. Boone, you'll also be given a copy of the order. Do you have any questions for me?
I am thoroughly confused. Was a notice ever put online for this or mailed to anyone? I don't even know why Mr. Lane is here. I don't know why I'm here.
Well, ma'am, you are now representing yourself, and previously you had requested to appear at every hearing that was held. As you are now representing yourself, the court cannot have any hearings regarding your case without you being here. I put on the record and explained to you the process that the court has had with communications with the jail. I'm not allowed to look at any of that. I'm not allowed to copy any of that. So in speaking with the jail and understanding that you still have a private investigator that was provided to you through the state that's being compensated by the state, you're still allowed to utilize his services. The protections of the attorney-client privilege are still applicable to him. So he's able to review any of these documents, ensure that they are safely copied without violating any terms of the privileges. Those will then be placed on multiple USB drives and provided to you. Those USB drives will then be uploaded to a computer that has been secured for you at the jail for you to access all of that information.
Okay.
So they basically have jumped through hoops to make sure that all her rights are preserved and that they can get her this material without violating her rights as a defendant. And she's so unappreciative. She's like, but I don't even know why I'm here. I don't understand any of this because I'm not an attorney. She can't follow what's going on in the hearing. Had she had an attorney, they may have been able to explain it to her. But that ship has sailed with the eighth one. She was so difficult. She would walk out of their meetings, their lawyer-client meetings, and she would write them long, insulting letters. And I don't think she's liking this idea. I think she thought it would. I think she's scared of trial. I think she's scared of being convicted. And Jorge Torres, her deceased boyfriend that she's accused of murdering, they had a long history of DV incidents between them. Mostly she was the complainant, but she always bailed him out. So was a really toxic, unhealthy relationship on both parts. She, of course, said they were playing hide and seek after drinking a bottle of wine. So she put out this flyer, inmate, looking for an attorney, looking for a prosperous challenge, ready for your close-up on national television. Are you zealous with a side of keen? Show the world who you are with your original creativity, extraordinary expertise, confident ingenuity. Qualifications must include being trustworthy, honest, passion-driven, open-minded, exceptional problem-solving, client inclusion at all times, team-oriented collaboration, which is so funny because she clearly can't collaborate with anyone. Extreme efficiency in listening, communicating, understanding, all the things she lacks. Dedication to success, possessing a winning mindset, capacity of excellence in representation, committed, maintaining faith in the client, and care with the ability to think differently, overcome all circumstances. So with that comment about maintaining faith in the client, I wonder if some of these lawyers wisely suggested some kind of plea deal or trying to lower the sentences. I mean, she really admitted what she did. I mean, it's only the circumstances. It's a sort of a why done it if you believe that they were playing a game. And it may have started like that. How he got in the suitcase is really, we only have her story. Epic opportunity awaits Sarah Boone, and there's her jail number. Orange County Correctional Department, invest in the oppressed. So she's bringing a little of the wrongful conviction movement flavor into there. Invest in the oppressed, justice. They love to use the word justice. And so she's not so happy representing herself, but she got herself there. This is going to be a theme in this hearing. She's very unhappy with the situation she caused, but she's too immature to see that she caused this situation. Everyone else is terrible. Everyone else is incompetent. Everyone else can't handle or understand her needs. Sounding highly narcissistic. I would think we would have to consider psychopathy in this one as well. I know it's rarely mentioned anymore, but we have to remember that option here. She certainly has the ability. I mean, if you look at that, talk about superficial charm. I mean, this is superficially charming. Little poster she made here.
Question is, was a notice of hearing posted or mailed to anyone to where apparently the news crews obviously got it? How is it that I do not know anything about this other than my bunk being kicked at 3 o'clock in the morning telling me I have court?
Ma'am, I have no other way to get in touch with you other than setting the hearing, which was set yesterday once I received confirmation from the jail as to the processes for how this would work. And I understand that your case is important, and I want to move it as efficiently, as diligently as possible. I know that you've been waiting for this information, and it took some time to confirm the process with the jail. You've advised me that you have very limited space. You have almost no privacy. You have a small drawer where you can keep some personal effects. We could not send all of those boxes with you to the jail, and the jail advised me that they cannot take all those boxes.
Right. Small drawer, is not going to cut it, lady. Small drawer will not fit this information. They really did use some ingenuity in coming up with this solution. So there's no one there to bring her confidentially bring her all this information, all this discovery. So it was very smart to use what would have been her private investigator to put all this on hard drive, on thumb drives and get it to her. And they're going to give her a laptop. I mean, I would think that this would be what it sounds like is a unique situation. Not too many people are representing themselves in Orange County Jail, if I had to guess. And what's so interesting is usually people choose to represent themselves after having been with a lawyer for a while. This is like, no, you're not getting a lawyer. Time's up. After 8 lawyers And you would wonder if this would still be an issue for appeal for her, of her rights to counsel, effective counsel being violated. I would think not. I would think they would have thought that through before they said no. But I mean, how many attorneys? I mean, they really had patience. 8, and you can see them complaining like, "This is just, I can't get along. I'm just constantly barraged with insults, long letters," and you'll see that she's filed motions. So she thinks that she can delay this trial with motions, with switching out lawyers. She doesn't want to go to prison. She wants to delay this as long as possible. The Nexium defendants did this too.
A process had to be created to make sure, and this is the process.
The process that I was explained after speaking to a couple of sergeants, and I've been waiting for that, and I would much rather prefer a hard copy of these to where I can write on them as opposed to anything that's on a laptop.
I am unable to provide that for you. I have been provided the process has been provided to me by the Orange County Jail.
So did you see that? So, I mean, you know, when I first watched this, I really did, on one side of myself, to be fair, feel for her. She didn't know about the hearing. The media heard about it before she did. I don't think that would bother me so much. But in jail, and just in life, you know, you'd want to be able to write on the documents, hold them, flip through them. You have nothing but time instead of pull up a laptop and keep a notebook separate from the actual documents. I guess you can mark them, but I'm sure she's not a computer master. You can make notes on some of these somehow. So I get it, but this is all of your own making, Sarah Boone. She just doesn't get it. Does not get it. And I mean, she looks like she's going to explode in anger again through another hearing. They all go like this. She's so dissatisfied, so angry every single hearing. And she's been treated nothing but gold by the courts. They're like, we can't communicate with you. That's coming up. It's not easy to communicate with you through the jailhouse phone. Sorry, Sarah. It's a little hard to get in touch with you.
I understand that's your preference, but I can't do anything more than what I've done right now.
I understand. And I have had other information given to me, which is why I've been waiting for the boxes for them. So I don't know, is this something that I need to pursue continuously still for me to be able to receive my hard copies? Because no one tells me anything.
I cannot answer that question because that may call for me providing you legal advice, which I am prohibited from doing.
Okay. Well, because I have no other way of contacting you other than in a letter, and it's AKA worldwide. So am I supposed to go back and speak to the captain and whoever else it is that I might need to speak to in order to receive these?
Again, I cannot answer that question. All I can tell you is that we will have a hearing on August 5, whereby which prison break investigation.
Did she just say that her letters to the judges are AKA worldwide? That's how all legal documents are, unless you're gonna put a seal, get the judge to put a seal on them. For what reason, I don't know. We have open courts, Sarah Boone. Once you kill someone, she expects that she would have the same kind of privacy. No media, but at the same time, she's reveling in the media. I mean, look at this. Look at this. Are you ready for your close-up? It seems like Sarah Boone's ready for her close-up. She loves the media attention. She loves the attention, but she thinks that it's going to, with the media attention and being a looked at case, that it's going to bring her privileges. And not these kind of privileges. Not the kind of privileges where your letters to the judge aren't going to go AKA worldwide. Did you guys hear that? It's so crazy. I just want to hear that again. Hold on, let me go back a second. I want to hear her say AKA worldwide again.
Whoever else it is that I might need to speak to in order to receive these?
Again, I cannot answer that question. All I can tell you is that we will have a hearing on August 5, whereby which Prison Break Investigations will provide all of the information on USB drives. Those will be provided to a representative from the Orange County Jail, who will place all that information on a laptop for you to use, and that's accessible for your use from 0800 to 1600 every day.
Right. Okay, so I guess I will figure that out, because if I'm up at 2 o'clock in the morning, I can't utilize the laptop, which is another reason why I was looking forward to the hard copies. So my other question is my time prorated for the time that I've been waiting for my discovery?
I'm not sure I understand what that means.
Will I be having additional time added, or will it be extended from the time period of me waiting for my discovery still?
I'm not in a position to answer that question. I don't know what it is that you're asking for.
My pretrial is supposedly set for September 24th, I believe it is. So obviously I will not be prepared. And
She's like, will my time be prorated? I'm trying to use lawyer-like speak here and try to impress you with how competent I am representing myself. And the judge is like, I don't know what you mean prorated. Will I be compensated for my time? What do you mean compensated? You mean, will I get more time since I'm not getting this material on time? Tough luck, lady. That's what the theme is. There's a little theme. I don't know if you caught it. She's doing all these mouth things through this. All her anger's in her mouth. She's pursing her lips and twitching her nose and kind of smacking her how do you say that? Her stretched lips together in frustration. It's not going to help, Sarah Boone. It's not going to help your situation.
obviously I do not know what I'm doing, and obviously I'm still waiting for my discovery. So for that time period that I have been waiting for almost 4 weeks now, will that be added to the time frame in order for me to be properly prepared?
As of right now, the dates are what the dates are, ma'am.
Okay, so I just miss a week, a month.
The dates are what the dates are.
So I also sent you, I believe, 5 motions. Have you received those?
No, ma'am, I have not.
They were mailed last week.
Then I have not received them yet. The last correspondence I got from you, ma'am, was received on July 8th.
Okay. 5 motions I've mailed. They're probably sitting wherever else it is, considering it takes a day for you all to receive my mail, considering I'm right down the street from you all. So I have those also in order, which may change whatever information or anything that I'm trying to acquire in between now, the month less that I have in order to prepare for my trial. That's in October. So if you could keep an eye out for those also. I don't know who I'm supposed to ask. How did Mr. Lane come into any of this? Like, how was he called?
Mr. Lane has been your investigator in this case, and he was advised to attend this morning's hearing by virtue of being provided the discovery in order to digitize it so that you can have access to it.
The court contacted him?
I did not contact him.
What difference does it make, Sarah Boone? They thought of a way that you can actually get your discovery. Be so happy. Someone is spending lots and lots of time to make sure you get do you know how much paper is in one trial? Tons. The lawyers come in with a little suitcase on wheels, sometimes file on wheels. Sometimes they have their interns file them in. It's like a big cart. There's so much paper that they have to put on, make it electronic for you to access it. And she's like, well, who called this private investigator? What does it matter? What does it matter? Who's coordinating this? Whether it's the court clerk or the judge's clerk or someone else. What does it matter? What difference is it going to make, Sarah Boone?
Am I allowed to speak to him directly?
You can.
Mr. Lane, who contacted you in order for you to be here, please?
Is that the most aggressive please you've ever heard in your life? See, I'm really polite. I'm just going to give you the most passive aggressive please The kind of please that just makes your toenails curl. It just makes you, it's so aggressive. Who contacted you here, please? See, I'm really on top of things. If I say things like prorated and please, I'm going to show you how competent, even me without a law attorney. Have you ever seen Erin Brockovich, that movie? I'm like Erin Brockovich, except you would really confuse me for a lawyer too. I don't have the tight outfits. I'm just like Erin Brockovich. Aren't you impressed with my skills? Prorated. Please, may I speak with this witness, please? May I cross-examine the witness? Can we get my investigator in the witness box, please, where I can cross-examine him?
If I'm pro se and my own attorney, shouldn't I be included in all of this so I know what's going on and not a surprise hearing like it is again for the second time?
Ma'am, again, this is why there were benefits to being represented by counsel. The court has already identified in its 16-page order the reasons for why you no longer have those benefits.
Right.
It makes things exceptionally more difficult, as I explained to you, in communicating with the court and communicating with the state attorney's office.
Isn't that what a certificate of service is for anything that's filed by anybody in the court?
There.
See, I know what a certificate of service is. What? Don't you see how on top of this legal stuff I am? Another legal jargon for you. Certificate of service, voir dire. Just gonna go through all the legalese here to impress the judge. Bunny Buchanan, thanks for becoming a member. Welcome aboard. This is too much. Sarah Boone.
There was,
should be included in that.
ma'am, there was no certificate of service for setting this for today. This was coordinated by the JA. You were advised as soon as it was set. It was set yesterday.
It's just very odd to me that the news knew about it before I did.
Again, I can't speak to that.
And so nonetheless, my constitutional right to counsel is being forfeited on your behalf in the court. So now I don't get appropriate notice in preparation for me to be able to be here and...
Wait, my constitutional right to counsel is being forfeited on your behalf? No, not on your behalf. She doesn't even know how to use the English language. She's so lost. She doesn't even know how ridiculous she sounds. It's not on his behalf. Yeah, you've lost your right to counsel, lady. It's not on the judge's behalf, on anyone's behalf. You've lost your right. The judge put the smack down and said no more counsel for you, lady. It's on no one's behalf. It's so ridiculous. It's like someone who's just gotten a new dictionary is trying to use every single word out of the dictionary.
doing what I'm supposed to be doing and act as and perform as?
I've already addressed the reasons, ma'am, for why there was a forfeiture and alternatively a waiver in the 16-page order that you were provided. Again, it's difficult to communicate with you based on where your current housing is. I'm not able to pick up the phone. The judicial assistant's not able to pick up the phone to communicate with you or send you an email to schedule certain things.
I know what she's doing. She's mirroring the judge. It took me a minute and a couple times watching this. She's mirroring the judge. That's what she's doing. Listen to the way the judge talks and listen to the way she talks. She's mirroring the judge's cadence and trying to mirror his language, but she doesn't have the vocabulary. So it's just like a machine spitting out random words that don't really go together and don't really make any sense, because he doesn't want to frustrate her. He wants to show her that he's treating her with respect and to stay calm. So he's talking to her slowly and deliberately in this very deliberate and clear manner and respectful manner. and she's mirroring it. That's what she's doing here. Oh, it took me a minute.
And it loves a little bit of a level of further complication.
How is it the news knows before I do?
You keep asking the same question and the answer is going to be the same. I cannot answer that question for you because I do not know.
Okay, but you do know it's harder for me.
I would agree with that, yes.
And you do know that you did not ask me any questions in regards to your order. You just read it straight off and never asked me what's what or how many with anything of it.
Ma'am, if you have questions, I can certainly try to answer them. I'm trying to facilitate you getting that information that you're certainly entitled to. And it took time for a process to be created by the Orange County Jail. As they had advised me, they do not have a place to store 2 banker's boxes of information, nor are they in a position to provide you physical copies. This is what I've been advised is the process is. As soon as that process was finalized, I set the hearing. This was finalized yesterday.
No one ever asks me. I've been waiting for the boxes. I really don't know what to say. And because I supposedly have no way to contact you other than a letter, and the same for you, I don't know how the news crews got here before I did. But I don't know going forward.
So she's really upset again about the news crews, and there's no way that she should have the judge's cell phone and be able to just call him on the regular. And, to be fair, I understand if I were a defendant, hopefully I don't kill someone and I would never be in this position or I'd never get in this position. But I would understand the frustration about not being able to get your discovery. But wouldn't you be excited that you're actually getting your discovery and not bitter and and wondering who called who and wanting nonstop access to the judge? Because really all these kind of communications are really abused by her. The letters that she gives are very abusive from her, according to her former lawyers, lengthy and abusive. So it's just what all this communication is just another way to exercise her power. And she feels powerless and small and and her manipulation tactics have failed her. And they were working like right around lawyer 4 and 5 and 6, and she was getting what she wanted. And now she's looking for new avenues to manipulate.
Forward, how is it that I'm supposed to be able to communicate with you other than me sitting here in front of you at these, I guess, supposed surprise hearings that I'm going to have every single time that it is that you would like to speak to me? Is that what it's going to be?
Ma'am, I cannot.
Right. So she should be able to call surprise hearings when she would like to speak to the judge. This is how hearings go. And if you had a lawyer, he would have told you, or she would have told you when the hearing date was. But everything, they had to schedule this a day, at the last minute to try to get you the discovery as quickly as possible and get this moving. Your behavior has been the problem, as they supposedly, she says supposedly, as if there's a real story, as if it's all a conspiracy against her.
I answer that question. All I can tell you is that you can communicate with the court through the avenues that you've been utilizing previously, by and through letter writing. As I said, I do not have your letters that you sent last week. They're not in the court file, and they were not in my inbox yesterday.
By the way, that's really the main communication of the court, even through when you have a lawyer, it's motions and letters to the court. Even lawyers don't call up the judge and say, "Hey, judge, can I get this?" Everything's done through letters to the court. So how does she think it's done? They just call up all the lawyers just call up the judge, say, "I want to have a hearing." I guess they can meet in the judge's chamber occasionally, but that happens so rarely. Mostly it's all done through letters, and it all works very slowly. Sarah Boone?
So as soon as I receive them, I will diligently review them. And if we have to set a hearing, you'll be properly noticed for it.
And the certificate of service.
You'll be properly noticed for it. Yes, ma'am.
And will there be a proper notice for today?
Notice was performed last night. I've already
Am I allowed to
explained.
ask the news crews how they got here?
No, ma'am, I'm not going to let you do that. They're not under oath. They're not a party to this action right now.
It's wrong and it's unfair.
You're certainly entitled to that opinion.
It's wrong and it's unfair. It's so right, Sarah Boone. It's so right. I should be allowed, Your Honor, I should be allowed to, she doesn't even say Your Honor. There's some more legalese for you, Sarah Boone. Your Honor, I should be able to go through as many lawyers as I want. In fact, on my spare time, I'm looking for new lawyers to use and abuse, and try to delay this process. Unfortunately, it looks like I'm not getting a lot of takers. Be interesting to see if anybody answered her ad. I wouldn't think so, with her reputation.
Am I allowed to ask him a question?
Sure, go ahead.
Mr. Lane, how is it that you and I are supposed to be speaking to one another?
So my suggestion would be, since you're now the attorney and you are pro se, that either you or Your Honor gives me access to the jail to come visit with you, and I will be happy to do that. It is the policy of the Orange County Jail to have a letter representing from an attorney to allow me to access you. That's the reason for the past previous couple of attorneys I've not had the ability to come out and access you, but that's changed. And I will be happy to continue to move forward with any investigative actions that can be for your defense, as long as I get that access.
So you need a letter from me.
Or the judge or the jail, somebody that will allow me access to you. Yes, ma'am.
And I send it to you directly?
Yes, ma'am.
Is this a letter also that you'll be supplying to him?
I don't know that I'm in a position to compel the Orange County Jail to do anything.
But you are the ones who want that.
But I can't tell.
But, is she angry that she didn't pick out this guy herself and that her old lawyers picked him out? This is who you have. This is your conduit. You can meet with him as many times as you want in private. You're the attorney. You're in the power position, Sarah Boone. I mean, is someone going to explain? Did she not get it? She's in the power position. She can call him in as many times as she wants. Now, this poor guy is going to get abused now by her. Oh, what a nightmare.
Tell the jail, let this person come talk to you. If they have a policy where you need to provide the letter, then you need to provide the letter.
So until you have that letter, you and I will not be able to speak with one another?
I will contact the jail myself and find out if there's an exemption for pro se, or maybe they can speak to you directly to circumvent the actual letter itself.
Thank you.
Ma'am, do you have any other questions?
I don't think you have enough time. I'm just doing my best, and if you could please keep an eye out for my motions.
I will be on the lookout for them. You said there were 5, correct?
Yes.
I will be on.
Please include me on the certificate of service for whatever hearings.
That's exactly what the judge said in the beginning of the hearing. He said, I'm doing my best to facilitate this and that for you. Remember? She's exactly mirroring his language. I'm just doing my best. Do you guys remember that in the beginning of this? Do you think she's going to go back to her jail cell and put on a robe and try to and use whatever she has in the jail cell as a gavel, shampoo bottle? I mean, what is going on? Bizarre. Yeah, she's the queen. I mean, she's getting such special treatment and no appreciation. And I really feel sorry for this private investigator. He didn't sign up for this.
Yeah, that are no longer a surprise for me, please.
Understood. You'll be given a copy of the court's order that I read momentarily, and I will see you both on August 5 at 8:45. All right, thank you all very much. Mr. Cacciatore, anything further, sir?
Nothing from the state.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you, sir. Have a great day. Oh, wait, before you leave, that is all going to be yours. Yes, I would, sir, so that you can begin the digitization process. All right, I'll see you on the 5th. Perfect. Thank you, sir. Yes. Sir, you just hang out for a second so I can give you a copy of the order. Thank you.
So she's doing some more complaining on her way out of court here, it looks like. Anyone read lips? Yeah, I don't know. Bizarre behavior, really bizarre by Sarah Boone there in court. I thought it was an interesting hearing. I wanted to show it to you all. It will certainly be an interesting trial. How much do you want to bet? How long till the private investigator comes back and says, I can't work with Sarah Boone? Is it going to be the August 5th hearing or it's the one after it? What are your guys' guesses? My guess would be, I would guess he's going out for his son's wedding. I would think it's going to be the one after. So how many court appointed experts or people is she gonna go through that are gonna have to act as conduits to this information? So that's what I have for today. Please hit the thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, share this episode, leave me a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts, support the channel, join my Patreon, follow me on Twitter, and I'll see you back here. I'm off tomorrow, Saturday at 6 p.m. Eastern. Have a great night, everybody.